whatever it was. It could be pity, it could be any number of things, but everyone knew our drama everywhere we went. To have, you know, your parents call you because you were on SNL and ask if you're okay. Uh-oh, it's bad.
Uh-oh, it's bad.
Uh-oh, it's really bad.
We are gonna still be on YouTube, but we're gonna be hopefully using it as a showcase.
You wanna be a Try Guy, right?
Yes.
You wanna be a Try Guy,
I
right?
wanna be the best Try Guy. I think we should go back to the interview now on the end with me on that side.
The Try Guys. From trying an entire menu to trying to survive a major earthquake, they're undeniably a YouTube staple, amassing over 2.5 billion views on their channel. They've dealt with buying their own brand back from BuzzFeed, a viral scandal, and now one of their core members is leaving. So now, after 10 years, are they really saying goodbye to YouTube? I'm Anthony Padilla, and I sat down with the Try Guys to find out.
Hello, Zack and Keith.
Oh, this is a fun way to start.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to totally throw you off right at the beginning. You guys are busy, very, very busy.
Yeah, we're doing lots of stuff. We're trying. Them boys, they can't stop trying.
Can't stop
And
trying.
we shot this in the past, but as of today, it'll have been 2 days since you just made the biggest announcement of your life.
It's up there.
Yeah, definitely as the Try Guys.
Bigger than announcing that you're leaving BuzzFeed and starting your own Try Guys company. Bigger than your response to stuff that is scandalous
Maybe
stuff.
it's bigger than that. Hard to say.
Something tells me this one won't reach SNL, but for us, it feels more consequential.
But what if SNL did a parody of this instead? Wouldn't that be great?
I think they've had their time and they're over us.
Yeah.
We're starting the next chapter of our careers. We're at least we're trying to. We're launching secondtry.tv.
We obviously went back and forth on it
Yeah.
many times.
What were those talks like? Were you like, this could ruin everything we built?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it came.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Ultimately, I think it was seeing and realizing that it was already broken. What we had built on YouTube was incongruent with why we started doing this in the first place, which was that we like making shows, we like making lots of different types of things, and I don't want to say YouTube punishes, but it certainly rewards something else.
It feels like punishment. It feels like it. It might not be, but it feels like
Oh, it certainly feels like it.
Yeah.
And so then we had this cataclysmic event rock our lives. And that showed us how everything we had built our business on was fundamentally broken and not built for sustainability. Being YouTubers, you are reliant on advertisers. That's all this is. By the way, hello, thanks for watching. You're watching on YouTube. You probably had to skip 2 ads now to watch this. So this is all. Google is the world's biggest advertising company. They don't care about entertaining you. They care about sucking your attention dry. When we went through our events, you know, it changed how our channel was surfaced. It chased advertisers away because we were too hot. We lost millions of dollars in booked branded revenue. It sent our company into a tailspin. And so we looked at, okay, if this can happen, that means that this is not sustainable. And also, why are we going to drive ourselves crazy trying to rebuild a prison that we don't actually like?
That's true. You're just trying to keep up while you're kind of trapped in the system, right?
It wasn't optimized for what we ultimately enjoyed and what our audience enjoyed most intensely. So as we look forward, what we have made our new true north is optimizing for depth over width.
When you guys started making content, it really was like, we're making stuff that people want to watch, that will entertain you with every moment instead of this kind of passive viewing.
We certainly benefited from a certain era of the algorithm, right? It was ironically the same algorithm that probably hurt Smosh for a little while, right? It was the end of the sketch comedy craze and the beginning of this unscripted, slightly longer form. And I know you guys saw like, oh shit, 2 to 4 minute videos aren't cutting it anymore. Like to have external forces warp and change how you create, because the only validating factor you get is this number. Number go up good, number go down bad. And so we're trying to break free from that system and really hopefully make what our audience finds most rewarding.
Do you think that more people are going to start breaking out, or do you hope to be maybe one positive example of breaking away from this?
I hope we're a positive example of breaking away from this. Whether or not other people will do it will probably be based on how well the algorithm serves them right now, right? Like, if the algorithm was serving what we were doing, we'd be thrilled, doing great, and we'd be like, oh, this is awesome. And that's how it was in, 2019, like when we launched the channel, it was like really great. Also, the algorithm liked us because our channel grew really, really fast, right? So even though that was actually just moving an audience over to YouTube's machine, it is, these guys are hotter than anyone else on the platform. They just got 1 million subscribers in a day. That's insane. We need to boost this content more than any other content on the platform. But now we have been around the same amount of subscribers for like a year and a half, 2 years. So it's like, they're not growing. Why would I surface them to new people? Because they're not growing on their own, so I'm not gonna help them grow.
Right.
That actually ends up hurting us, makes our video surface less, makes the next video surface less and less and less.
Yeah.
So as we see that happening, and thinking about how our business is built on someone else's business and what's best for them, we should build a business on what's best for us.
That's the dream, is to create your own algorithms with all your own content.
I don't know what a better word is, but I even hate the word content.
Yeah.
Because within it is the idea of being content. It's not being satisfied.
Right. It
It's
feels disposable at that point, right?
flow right through.
It's just such a blanket term,
Yeah.
so it's not specific, whereas show has some specificity. Video, we always used to call it videos before we called it content, but I think because videos are so different between shorts and vertical and stuff, the content is the word that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Because it is like, well, there's Instagram pictures are content.
Sure.
YouTube videos are content.
Everything on the internet's content. Every piece of data is content.
Yeah.
Why? Even I'm content.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you know that you're content right now?
Yeah, we're aware.
Yeah.
You're kind of content all the time.
You are a brand as individual beings. Content.
Content.
Yeah.
I'm fairly content.
Because you're still releasing content on YouTube at the same time.
Yeah.
How are you thinking that you'll be able to convince people who are used to, because people definitely have their routines and they don't like change, and they're used to viewing your content. Now I realize how much I say that word. They're used to ingesting your beautiful creations
Beautiful.
on one platform,
Yeah.
and now you're saying, hey, go somewhere else. How do you think you'll be able to convince so many people to ingest your beautiful creations elsewhere?
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah.
We are gonna still be on YouTube, but we're gonna be hopefully using it as a showcase. We are gonna have a series of exclusives, right? So we're hoping that that's what brings people over. But all the shows that people are used to seeing, whether it is the Try Guys, capital T, capital G, Without a Recipe, Eat the Menu, we're gonna have those on YouTube, just sometimes a little later, sometimes a lot later. And then we're gonna take the exclusive shows and release 1 or 2 episodes. But the message is, this is great, do you want to support it? Because we've tried to do this model on YouTube before, and every time, immediately, we had a big meeting where the heads of our company brought us in, sat us down and said, we have to lay off a bunch of people. This doesn't work. So this model is just incongruent. The sell is, if you like what we're making, please come over and join us. We're gonna make a really dope community. But also, you are the only way that this is possible and sustainable.
You now have no idea
No.
what this launch will be like, which will, at this point of release, will have been 2 days ago.
We sent you the script, but we
Yeah.
haven't edited it yet.
Right, yeah, you just shot it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
from-
in the middle of shooting our Try Guys season right now. We're going from this to get on a plane with Eugene to film our firefighting episode.
Yeah.
It's like we're in the middle of it right now.
So you've been keeping up your YouTube channel at the same time as
Yeah.
all of this?
We've been shooting content for 2 platforms since late January. So
How's that been?
but planning it since
October, and the idea.
How
of
are
it
you
came in
still functioning / awake?
yeah, our team is really, really incredible. I give them all the credit. We pitched them this vision, and they came back to us with a really robust interlocking production and edit schedule.
They didn't say you're crazy and walk away?
They said that first.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But also, I want to go back when our department heads came in and be like, hey, if we do this, we're gonna have to lay off people. We were like, well, we can't lay off people.
Why were they saying you had to lay off people if you did this?
Not enough money would come in to
Oh,
pay
so they did
for them.
estimations and they were like, there's no way.
Yeah, like if we don't have videos, you don't get ad revenue or
Yeah.
sponsorship revenue, and then you don't have money, and then you can't pay people. So you either close the company or you downsize the company. Well, we didn't want to downsize the company. We also felt that the company had already endured a lot of trauma from the previous thing that happened. So
I love how we're dancing around it like it's
well, you know,
No one knows what we're talking about if we talk about it delicately.
it was very intense. And think about like, obviously it was intense for us, right?
Yeah.
But if you are seeing your company be mocked on the biggest sketch show in the world,
Yeah.
you're going to have some fears about your job security. So when we were met with this like, either make more and keep like driving this train forward or lay people off, we're like, okay, then we'll make 4 and keep driving this train forward. And Zack and I will work, 60 to 80 hour weeks all the time because we just need to make stuff. If we don't put out content, we don't make money. If we don't make money, we can't pay people.
But that model of production is, again, incongruent with making better stuff. So then we did that and went, okay, well now we're back making bullshit and making good stuff in
Making
between.
good bullshit.
Yeah.
But
some really easy stuff because we need to be able to turn around one of these pieces of content as fast as possible so that we have the time to make the better piece of content and the funds to make that better piece of content, video, whatever the word we want to use.
I didn't even realize you said
I
that
know.
so much.
I
Ugh.
did,
We
but,
got
like,
to bleep that word.
It's just,
that's a curse word at this point.
everyone just thinks we're saying over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah. You guys have talked about the event to death, but have you talked much about the way that affected the well-being of the individuals within the company? Were you afraid that some of them would start leaving, or that they were being put through so much turmoil that they're having to work so many more hours in like repairing this thing?
all of those fears, and also I feared just for their mental health because I make videos where I'm the subject and I'm putting myself out there to be scrutinized.
Right.
I am.
You know that going in.
It is my fault that when I go to the airport, people want to take pictures with me, and I like that.
Yeah.
It is not any of my employees' fault, responsibility to take any of that negative press. And the fact that they were getting it or felt like the people were writing from like periodicals trying to get to our staff, being like, do you want to do an interview? Like people were reaching out to them to try to get whatever dirt or whatever they could on this situation or make it a bigger story than it already was. And that's not,
They didn't sign up for that.
They didn't sign up for that.
Right.
Like,
Those outlets want the headline that says like how horrible the experience is on the inside or something like that, right?
And luckily they didn't feel that way with the remaining owners. and we also worked really hard to try to like, Zack and I was like, hey, we have office hours all the time. You can call us, you can text us, you can Slack us, whatever you want to do. If you want to meet with us in person, let's find time. Like we are totally open ears to hear any problems you're having, any problems you had.
Were you getting a lot of that? People.
I think some staff were like taking that moment, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of them were actually coming in being like, is the company gonna be okay?
Yeah.
They were, I think, concerned for us as well. It was just a lot. And we have all of our other wider circles of friends are like, hey, are you okay? So it's very nice to have people check in, but it's also very overwhelming to have, your parents call you because you were on SNL and ask if you're okay.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, I mean, of course. It was like,
Did you receive a call too? Like the SNL thing had to have been insane, right?
I was seeing the re-release of Avatar. And my phone was blowing up, and so I left Pandora to watch it on my phone. And it was like, whoa, that's my shirt. Okay. And then I went back to Pandora, and then I was like, I can't pay attention to what the Navi's problems are right now.
Yeah, you got your own.
I need my own Jake Sully. Anyway,
we also got a tip off that it was going to air.
yeah.
Oh.
We got
Cast member gave us an advanced text about 2 hours before.
So we didn't know what was coming, and honestly, I was like maybe a little excited.
Really?
Oh, I
didn't know what it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when I went out, I jumped up and down. I was like, this is crazy. I was on SNL as a kid. I've dreamed of, like, I loved that.
You were on SNL as a kid?
Yeah, I was a background actor.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, in a
Okay.
Wake Up Wakefield sketch. So it felt huge for me.
Yeah.
And then they start texting and they're like, oh, that wasn't very.
Oh, it's bad.
It's bad.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
no, this is not good for this narrative to be what America might
Sees.
get as their first
Right.
explanation of this. That's not good.
Yeah.
And so
Although I will say that when they uploaded the clip on YouTube, everyone was like, what the f is this?
the internet
YouTube had
audience
our back,
understood
yeah.
how it was wrong.
Yeah.
But so many people are just watching that in their living rooms and then they're just gonna be like, well, look at those stupid crybabies who are all wrong about this.
Yeah.
Like that's the narrative they got.
Uh-huh.
So that's the narrative they have. And then like just the mental health part of it was very, whether or not people were looking at us in public for those like 3 months after, it sure felt like it.
I felt like everyone was looking at you, judging you based on what the narrative had become.
Whatever it was, it could be pity, it could be any number of things, but everyone knew our drama everywhere we went.
I mean, the way that you describe it, I'm realizing it's almost like you're forced to operate out of a place of fear constantly.
Yeah.
Where you're like, uh-oh, what happens? Uh-oh, are we gonna keep up? Am I gonna be able to do what YouTube wants? And you're constantly like, what if I don't make the right decision? And
What if I don't make the right thumbnail?
Yeah.
If I don't make the right thumbnail, that might be a difference of $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
And that is upsetting.
Especially when you have, how many employees? Do you talk about how many employees you have?
We have
Yeah,
20 something. And we say something because we have a lot of freelancers
Yes.
as well.
So you have over 20 employees whose livelihoods rely on the success of your company. And the success of your company, up until this point, has relied on an arbitrary algorithm that kind of decides if your content is worth pushing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's got to be just like sitting there in the back of your head of like how many people, it's not just you.
Right. And we have staff members who have families.
Yeah.
And it's just like the business affects a lot of people. And it's not even just YouTube, like the entire ad-based economy is constantly in flux.
You can make the best thing that you've ever made. Everyone in your audience agrees, this is phenomenal. We want more of this, we love this. But if you don't make the right thumbnail, doesn't get seen, and now we can't afford to do it again.
Right. The birthing simulator, that was the best thing you've ever made.
According to views,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
and by the way, that one's a good one. But we could spend the next 5 years becoming experts again and again and again at what does the algorithm want right now? How do I make the best thumbnail? What do advertisers want? How do I make the best commercial? Or we could say f all that and just go right to the audience and make what they care about.
And at this point, you'll have announced that this coming season of Try Guys will be Eugene's last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that has been something Eugene is, and I think even you were saying at one point you were thinking about stepping away. Is that right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Can you talk about that? Have you talked much about how you wanted to step away as well?
For me, it was feeling like our company was moving into a direction where I couldn't make things that I enjoyed. I felt that the success of the company hinged on continuing to play the song over and over again, and I was sick of that song.
Yeah. Creep by Radiohead?
No, we like that song.
I love that
I'll,
song.
I'll keep singing that song.
Yeah.
But I get the reference.
Yeah. Because they hate
They hate the song.
Oh, they hate it?
They hate
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
that song. Yeah.
They have better songs.
Yeah.
They're right.
But that one's a bop.
that one's good.
Yeah.
For a long time, Try Guys was my creative expression. Then it felt like it was moving away into something else. And so I said to myself, okay, I won't f it up for everyone else, but I'll let Try Guys go be that thing. And I guess for me to be happy, I need to separate myself from it and go do something else. Then the world blew up and I found a way to make it my creative identity again.
Yeah. The world blowing up being which time? Which
Yeah,
time?
they all kind of blur together, but
Yeah.
I think that I wouldn't say that the start of the pandemic didn't also rock the company pretty hard too. I think it rocked every industry got hit, and we got hit, and because we make unscripted content where we're out in the world meeting strangers.
Yeah.
We couldn't do
not
that.
anymore.
Couldn't do that for a year solid, and it became us making format videos in our homes, which was, I think, charming at first, but then that content reminded people that they were trapped in their homes, and it was no longer escapism. It was rather like, hey, we're all sad, huh? And that wasn't making anyone happy. So when we finally could get back in the flow of things, we had just lost a lot of people just from that.
What we were doing wasn't possible anymore. The old had already died, and so now we really had no choice but to forge a new path. Eugene, we're super stoked for him. I mean, this is something he has wanted for a long time. And
You
I
were
think,
saying like unofficially almost like 3 years ago he had started.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he hasn't been a super active member of the company, and he was on and off, but then certainly for the last year, like he hasn't been part of the leadership of the company. And I think anyone who's been watching knows that. I think this will be most shocking for people who are casual viewers.
Yeah.
He has a lot of creative endeavors that he's excited about. Actually, here's how I can do this.
Sure.
So when, do we just call it the event? We all know what we're talking about.
The scandalous event.
Wait. when the event happened, it was clear that the company, as it was, would never exist again. And so we kind of got together and thought about, what do we want to do next? It was this real moment that allowed us to wake up from this fever dream that was the last several years of momentum of just, we're successful, we're getting more successful, go, 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 go.
You're like almost too in it to really zoom out.
100%.
But this forced you to zoom out.
It was a moment that forced us to snap out of reality and reassess everything. And so we said, what do we want to do? Do we want to keep doing this at all? Is the Try Guys over? Is it meant to be over?
Did part of you think that was it?
Yeah, and I, by the way, I do believe that creative projects need to end. If they go on forever, they inevitably lose what made them special. When we had that reflection moment, we really quickly found that Keith and I saw an opportunity to make what we wanted within this framework, to mold it into our image, and that with what Eugene wanted to work on next, we couldn't do anything for that. And so his projects and where he was at creatively necessitated him taking this step to go into other places. He's writing a book, he's trying to direct a film. We see a real opportunity in continuing to go direct to the audience, to play with digital and try and bridge the worlds. But it was a very respectful and easy conversation for us because he had wanted this for so long and we knew that it was time.
So what made you want to stick around? Was it kind of realizing that you could take the company in a different direction, that you weren't going to be trapped on this hamster wheel just running mindlessly?
When we got together to reevaluate what the future could be, it quickly became clear that Keith and I had a shared interest and a shared vision and what we saw was possible. And then I looked at what I wanted to do next and saw ways that I can make my dreams come true within what we had already built. The Try Guys has given so much to us, and what it's given us more than anything is this unbelievable, passionate and supportive audience who has allowed us to do so many things. I think people have an idea of what the Try Guys is as a video series, but we've done a multitude of shows. We wrote a book, we went on tour, we made a documentary. It allows us to reinvent ourselves again and again within the framework of this audience. And so instead of trying to start anew in traditional, whatever the hell that means, why don't I continue to take what we've built together and figure out ways to make stuff we really care about here?
Isn't that interesting how a huge shakeup that you hate, that you never wanted to happen, that in the moment feels like it's destroying everything, in a sense, there is a rebirth of sorts.
Don't love how it happened, glad we're here.
Yeah, it's like, it's what you make of it, right? We could have shut down the company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at one point that was what you thought was the only option.
Yeah, there were times we thought about a lot of things, but I think it is both, like we've said, commitment to the thing that we built, the staff that we have, the work that we've created. We're like, I don't want to give up on this. We just gotta make it work for us.
And I think it's a true testament to the company and brand that you guys have created. You started something with another company, then you left BuzzFeed, and then you had to become businessmen, business owners yourself, and you purchased the IP, and you started more as producers / talent and creators, and then you evolved into, are you officially CEOs?
Yeah, yeah, you're looking at co-CEOs right here.
We got some CEOs on our shows.
How about that? Never thought I would do that.
Yeah, right? Isn't that wild how that,
was it something that the two of us had no interest in doing or being, and we were somewhat thrust into that position, and actually found that we have, quite a talent for it, quite an aptitude. It's you can surprise even yourself of what you're capable of.
When did that become your talent?
Oh, you know when.
We were
after the event.
You know when.
We always were like. That was, I guess, our title from the beginning because we were like the owners and so CEOs, kind of. We never hired anyone else to be our CEO.
You were more so like co-founders without the CEO title.
But like all of us did share some amount of decision making. It was a divide and conquer model of like, some of us had certain stacks underneath us. But then when that happened, it really became like, we really need to be the ones thinking about the future health of the company. And then it became much more CEO think.
You were talking to me before about how the event kind of revealed.
Should we have like the event tracker going?
Yeah. With like a horror sting at the same time. But it revealed the cracks in the company that were already there. You wouldn't have necessarily taken the time to analyze those cracks.
Nah,
you guys don't like looking at cracks very often, apparently.
No, we do actually. It's kind of our brand.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of what we do.
We have seen each other naked multiple times.
But I think when you're doing well, you
Yeah.
have little cracks in the road, you just kind of spot fix them.
Yeah.
But when the road breaks, you're like, well, let's build a better road.
Yeah.
Like you, as you're going and it's going well, just put tape on it and just kind of keep going because it's kind of going well. But yeah, the tape wasn't going to fix that. So
It sounds like ideas are some of your favorite things.
We like ideas.
The favorite part of what you do. So now you get to focus on that. That is your biggest focus. And then the overall direction of the company.
The challenge ahead now is to put our money where our mouth is and make a bunch of really great shows. I want to give credit in every interview at least once to Drop Out because I think they paved the way for this model. Sam Reich was extremely gracious in giving us his learnings and say, hey, here's what we got right, here's what we messed up. I think that there are a lot of people doing interesting work in this space who have figured out how to kind of break free from the shackles of YouTube. And we're still gonna be using YouTube, but YouTube now becomes a funnel. It's similar to Instagram and TikTok. We wanna use these platforms to help people discover our shows and say, hey, you want more of it? Follow me.
Well, now I'm gonna try to be one of the Try Guys.
lovely.
I'm gonna try and pee and then I'm down.
That sounds good. Let's try to be the Try Guys.
Yeah.
Well, Try Guy, you've tried many things. One of your first big viral videos was trying a labor pain simulator.
Yeah,
Speak on that.
that's true. So it was one of my first times coming into my womanhood and realizing what things women feel. It was.
Do you feel like you've fully encapsulated what it means to be a woman at this point?
I think I got at least 90% of it there with the labor simulation, because in my male brain, that's what being a woman is. Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah, and I'm just really I just did it for the content and the views though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it did great. There were lots of ads on the video. The model is really working.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, we thought it'd be fun for you to relive that viral video today by actually putting on a labor pain simulator.
Is that what this
TENS
is?
Unit. Yep, that's
You're gonna
exactly
make me
what it
put
is.
this on?
So this is a TENS unit. It forces your muscles to contract. I actually use that same model for when I'm having chronic pain.
Zach does.
Zach, I know, uses that exact same model when he has chronic pain flare-ups.
Thank you for explaining that to me, Anthony.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Try Guy. So you have kind of two pads there. You can, do a 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're so daring, you could put one on the taint. I wouldn't recommend it.
Have you done that?
And Eugene did.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Pleasurable?
Maybe start with no.
Okay.
It didn't
Start
seem
with
like-
let's start with a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, so just like
Yeah.
here.
Oh, this is why we wanted to do this segment. That's
I
how you
get
get
it.
the
I
views. All
understand.
right, I'm on board. I'm on board. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Slap it
Buried
on.
me in a hoodie and then they took his shirt off. I see how it is.
So we do this?
Yeah, let's. If you don't, and I'm not doing this because I want to. It's because I have to.
Yeah. Well, I want you to do it.
So we're gonna go.
I have to want you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna just create a little.
Okay.
Did you oil this up, or are you just naturally glistening?
I guess I'm just naturally glistening. I got really sweaty during the interview.
Me too.
Yeah, you made me nervous with putting me on the spot, having to talk about my womanhood.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So this is basically gonna force your abdominal muscles to contract.
Is that how you get like a six pack?
Yeah. This will do. This is a cheat code.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that is,
okay.
some of those get fit quick things are basically kind of like this.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I've
they
seen
actually
it.
do anything, but that it's what it is.
For a labor pain simulator, we would call this level 1 because obviously, well, actually, it should be a little lower. But you would get
How
this.
much lower?
You would get.
Do you want to do it?
You would get the taint. You would get the butt.
Wait, would
get
you
the
really
lower-
put one on your taint?
The
when
back. And during labor, you feel it in your back. You feel it in your stomach. You feel it down here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anyone who's experienced period cramps as well knows that it kind of like that pain sits low. But I think this is a good. This is a good level
enough?
1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe your uterus sits really high.
Yeah. I've been told.
Yeah.
I've been told.
Yeah.
So now we have this, and we're gonna start it really slowly.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Let me come back over here with my Try Guy.
Okay, thanks, Anthony.
So, Anthony, how do you want to do this?
I'd say definitely
No,
start.
sorry, I was talking to Anthony.
I think you should start with probably just 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Because it's not so bad, but it's really it sort of gets like 3 is a lot more than 1 more than 2. You know?
Okay, so it's
distance-
kind of like the Richter scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm just gonna go to a 1 on one of them so you understand what it feels like.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's something. This one lit up.
Okay.
What is that number?
This is a 3.
Okay, yeah.
So
It kind of feels like there's a caterpillar in my
yeah.
body trying to get out.
Let me see what mode
Yeah, it's
we're
like a little
on.
bee. Oh, there's a pulsing
Yeah,
sensation.
it's doing the pulse thing.
It feels like
now.
I'm getting f***ed by electricity.
And then so you're not feeling it on the other one yet.
Just right here, and it feels kind of good, I will be honest.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn up the intensity a little more. We're gonna go up to a 4.
And you're not doing the other side, you're only doing 1?
We're gonna start with 1.
Okay. It's kind of like a going to, It feels like someone's just like tickling me a little bit though.
Yeah. How are we now?
Is labor supposed to feel this good?
That's all I hear. I hear it's very positive for everyone.
Well, this is a.
What number is that at?
This is at a 4.
Okay.
This is it's to make your muscles stimulate for chronic pain, but we're going to abuse the machine.
Okay.
We
You're
basically are-
abusing me too, right?
Yeah, we're taking a machine that is used to relieve muscle pain and just using it when it's not intended for.
Yeah, to give you muscle pain.
So go to 6. Oh, yeah, the muscles are involuntarily.
Season.
You want to keep going?
I don't know, how high does it go? What's the number that's the top number?
It actually only goes up to an 8.
Okay, what is it now?
You're at a 6. This one isn't so bad. And now we're going to just go up.
It's pulsating between feeling kind of good and feeling real bad. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like my bowels are releasing almost.
Oh.
Almost.
Yeah, you're going to poop weird tomorrow.
Feels like I might poop weird right in this moment.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah. Oh, feet. Oh, what was that number? That was a lot. Wow.
You did it. You understand
What was that?
womanhood.
What number was that? It went from feeling kind of good to really bad really quickly.
The other one hit in?
They both all hit in.
Yeah.
What number was that?
Oops.
Did you go to 8?
6.
That was only a 6?
Yeah.
Why did it hurt so much more?
It's on its own little
That
ramping
felt
schedule.
like, the feeling at the top of a roller coaster, and it's like, you're like, this is kind of, I'm okay. And then it's like, whoa! And that's like, it feels like everything. I felt like I wanted to eject out of all ends.
So now you just do that for a few hours and also rip from hole to hole, and you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get it. That's, I completely 100% understand now what it means to give birth.
Congratulations, you're a try guy.
I'm so glad I tried that.
So, where do you find joy in these types of experiences?
I really love trying new things and being exposed to different things and different people that I wouldn't normally be exposed to.
Interesting.
And I feel like
Kind of just roll it ride it like a roller coaster.
I get to live through multiple different people's experiences through.
I can't always.
Why is it? It goes from kind of good to real bad real quick very often.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've already forgotten about the pain. That's the interesting thing about pain, right? You
Yeah.
forget, and then you just want to keep having kids.
Yep.
And then you remember, I remember why this was so painful.
Yeah.
But now I've already forgotten the pain.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was level 1, so let's get the second
That was
machine and
level
put it
1?
on your taint.
Are we doing the taint ones? Tell
You
me
want to be
more
a try
bits.
guy, right? Yes. You want to be a try guy,
I want to be the best try guy. I want to be the Eugene of the try guys.
Put it on your taint!
So I think we should go back to the interview now with me on that side. I think we should go with me on that side.
I'm keeping the clothes though.
I feel like with this recent announcement, the attention is starting to shift away from that, luckily.
At the end of last year, we made a video basically teasing our next couple months ahead. We did that because we wanted to tell the audience you're in good hands. We know that this last year has been crazy, but here's what to look forward to. And also because we knew that leading up to this second Try.tv announcement, things were gonna be rocky, that it's gonna seem like we're spinning our wheels at times. But we wanted to let them know it's because we're moving towards this big event. We teased 2 announcements, And the reason we did that is because we wanted the first announcement to be the story that is linked to when we do the big announcement. But what we were going to announce was the official expansion of our cast. And I talked to Ian about it, actually, and he was like, who gives a shit what Variety writes? And I was like, you're right. Who gives a shit?
You just needed to hear that from Ian.
You're right.
Yeah.
And so we decided
Our audience doesn't care.
Yeah.
No.
Our audiences are not reading those magazines.
These are all things that are just kind of in the background in other people's minds.
They're honestly just for advertisers to read.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm trying not to have them anymore.
Right.
So I don't care.
In a couple years, advertisers, we
we'll
love
leave
you.
you for
Come
a
on,
couple years.
I'll say whatever you want and use me like a
just
puppet.
for a-
Stick your hand
for a
inside of me and
limited time.
I'll read your little paper and pretend it's my own words. I love it. I love you. I love you, brand.
In my eyes, like with Smosh, I want Smosh to exist beyond me. You know, I want this brand to be something that, I helped create and I helped guide, but at some point it won't need me, right?
Yes.
When Ian and I bought Smosh, we did some exercises and we were like, we gotta know what our purpose is. And we came up with the idea that Smosh has always been about comedy rooted in friendship. And if we can have this brand exist and continue to thrive beyond our lifespan, and it continues to show fun dynamics of friendships and these people connecting over comedy, you know, that in my eyes would be a huge life success.
Yeah.
Do you have similar ideas with the ways that you're approaching Second Try?
Yeah, and that's something else that the streaming platform allows us to do. It allows us to make shows for other people to tell stories that we can't tell. Our YouTube channel, the algorithm is not going to serve someone else's face and a thumbnail with a title with someone else's name doing something that we don't do. But if I have a platform that I can guarantee to our audience is going to make good stuff, I can work with other talented people and have their stories be told and have their show ideas be greenlit so that this company can do for other people what it's been able to do for me. Just like you want Smosh to do for other people, like what it's done for you. It's symbiotic that like it should help us, we should help them. And right now, Zach and I have tried things for 10 years. Not to say we can't have new experiences, but certainly it's not as unique and exhilarating as somebody who really hasn't had 10 years of new experiences every week. And also, Zach and I have become the same person mentally.
Yeah.
Like we really just like, we say the same things,
I can't tell
we
you
do
apart.
the same things, and we're not giving great fresh perspectives that lots of different people in our audience could relate to. So we need to broaden the cast for that, but also not just broaden the cast in our formats, but broaden the shows that we make to be formats for those people that they actually are the drivers of.
Is Second Try the thing that you see allowing the company to continue to thrive for generations moving forward?
It's right now the only way, right? It's for us to make what the audience likes. It's only sustainable with their support.
I can only think about things for 5 to 10 years at a time. I don't know if this is going to be our new legacy, but I think it can be our next security and opportunity for the next decade of our careers.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if it was the thing that we built that generationally existed for 100 years, but I don't know. It doesn't seem reasonable. The pace at which technology advances right now, I just don't know how we're not going to have videos served onto our eyeballs from advertisers out of our control. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can at least make a better bet for myself for the next window of time until all of that crumbles and we figure out another plan, because life is about things ending and things beginning and assessing them as they come.
Yeah, or YouTube changes the way that they optimize and monetize, or a new platform called Zerpsop blows up and we're suddenly the biggest Zerpsoppers on the planet.
Did you already get that website?
Zerpsop.co.
Yeah.
But
We're
go
gonna
to
get it done by the time this
secondtry.tv,
airs.
but Zerpsop it will also redirect.
Okay, good.
Z. How do you spell Zerpsop?
XYRZOP.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to buy a lot of spellings of it. It's
Yeah,
gonna get
there's gonna be a lot of
pricey.
typos.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about moving forward? I mean, aside from everything, like, are there specific shows or Like, because there's so much shit that you've been working on.
I have felt, maybe it's just because the last 2 weeks we've been shooting the Try Guys season, and it's been like a return to form of what that show was, but I've been feeling like this is our year. Yeah. Well, because we're like making these cool things, we're making cool shows, this exciting project is happening, we're taking Eat the Menu on tour, so we get to go out and perform for our fans, and it's so rare that you actually get to see 1,000 of your fans in one place at once and interact with them and feel the energy and the importance that you have, both of you have to one another.
Yeah.
So like that is really exciting, and we're about to go get on a plane to go learn firefighting tonight. Like it's exhilarating sometimes to do what we do, and I think then when in 2019 when things were really going well and we had all these cool projects, we were touring, it felt like the most exciting time to be alive, and I feel like this year has that potential to be one of the most exciting years of our career. So I'm just really amped about all the exciting things we're doing. Personally, I get to see my son grow up and discover things, which is a blast all the time. So it just feels like things are going in the right direction, which for the last 2 years they haven't. So it feels really exciting to be on the upswing, at least, or at least have hope.
Yeah.
Hope is awesome.
After last year is nice, right?
Having hope that things are going to be good is almost as good as things being good.
Yeah. The belief. Yeah.
Being able to work with intention, you know, even the show, The Try Guys, got stretched so thin until it was meaningless. It just was The Try Guys. What even the fuck is it? It's a YouTube.
Putting on Amazon beauty products at a
not
table.
an
That's not.
It was almost like, what's popular now? Let's do it. And it's just this constant
what could get views, not what is a good video.
Yeah, and The Try Guys was a show, and so we're getting to make that into a show again, make other shows, put real heart and intention and time, craft into everything we do. You know, when we take on big projects like this, we usually, as it gets closer and closer, it starts to feel more chaotic. We start to feel overwhelmed. Oh God, we have bit off more than we can chew. Why are we trying to do something so wildly ambitious? What the f were we thinking? Instead, this time, as we get closer, everything is getting into focus. And that feels really good to know that we're doing what we always sought out to do, which is to make stuff we care about and to have the time to actually think it through instead of just let the winds blow us around.
It feels so nice to have that greater overall goal.
Yeah.
Right, that you're leading toward.
And I'm excited to be wrong. I'm excited to learn what this wants to be, to learn what the audience wants it to be, to have a new metric to optimize for. You know, we're not now concentrated in what gets the most views. It's what do people love the most? Keith had someone stuck his toes.
Yeah.
Oh, was that worse than eating? That sounds pleasurable.
Well, it was a little too pleasurable.
I think it was just too intimate. I wasn't ready for it.
Coming soon to secondtry.tv.
Who was sucking your toes?
It was Grant O'Brien, which makes it more upsetting because we look exactly the same. So it was just there's too much weight to the whole thing, I think.
Were you like, stop, this is like, it's making me uncomfortable that it's
No, it
that
was
it's
more
not making me uncomfortable?
More I was screaming.
Like,
It'll
you
come
can't tell
out.
if it's pain or pleasure though?
Oh, I could tell. I won't say which one it was.